Hi, welcome. Today is January 31st, 2025. I'm Gina. I'm excited to talk to you about the astrology of today. Um, I wanted to hone in on a really interesting transit that's occurring this weekend that is perfecting today on Friday, but it will be active throughout the weekend as well. And it's such an opportunity that I just really wanted to bring it to the conversation today and focus on it sort of exclusively because there is some, really positive potential here. But just like with everything, we have to kind of step into it. Um, and so understanding the potential can help us to do that. So, Jupiter is a planet that rules expansion. And it brings opportunities and growth. It is a benefic, positive planet. Jupiter is big. It's the biggest planet in the sky. And yes, it brings us a little bit of an easier target for wherever we shoot our arrows. It's easier to hit our mark when Jupiter is at play. So Jupiter is the planet of expansion, of growth, and the sun is all about our identity and our life force. So when these two planets come together in any kind of a configuration, it is the most really positive transit we can have in astrology. And the trine is a very positive interaction, very harmonious. We have both of our planets in air signs here. So there's something sort of especially intellectual, mental. It's about new ideas about this particular Jupiter, Sun trine Jupiter. So I wanted to put just a few sort of key words up on the page here and also highlight the transit, but I want to speak more about it. Basically, this transit allows for easier optimism, confidence, and intellectual growth. And I think that bringing in more optimism and confidence right now is really welcome. We're going through so many changes. Check out this Pisces part of the chart, for example, the very end of the zodiac, which is a very powerful point. The North Node just moved into this house and sign and is coming closer and closer into this conjunction with Neptune. We have Venus here as well that will go retrograde, Saturn. And it's just such a period of profound period of change as well, like an era shift. And we can see that as well because of Pluto newly moved into Aquarius, which it's nice to see Pluto at 2 degrees, finally sort of getting out of that 0 and 1 degree mark where Pluto's been floating around for a couple of years. So yeah, there's such an era shift happening right now that having this little period where there's a bit more optimism, confidence, and potential for intellectual growth, I think is really welcome. Because as much as this new era is positive and moving us forward, the transition is tough. And sometimes at the end of a cycle, some of the more difficult manifestations of that signature can come to light, and that can happen at the beginning too. So you may be noticing that in the collective, as they say, in the world around you. And you might be noticing it somewhat in your personal life as well. It might feel like there are some things that are ending and some things that are beginning. And it's sort of hard to get a sense of exactly what's going on with so much in Pisces. There can be sort of a real fogginess, dreaminess, um, confusion to the mix. We also have Mars retrograde right now, which is dimming our confidence and sort of shifting our motivation. Emotional matters are more front and center. Um, so, this transit coming in for just a few days, really just the next few days, this is active, is welcome. And I will say right after, we will have a trine from Mercury at the very beginning of February. So I think that that's really a positive as well. And it sort of brings good news. And I wonder almost if we're starting that story now. You know, if some of the optimism and the new ideas and the confidence that's sort of starting to bloom right now leads us to that good news that we have next week. But we sort of have to work through this part first. Okay, so here are a few different things to look out for with this. I'm going to go through 8. Number 1, an optimistic mindset, right? And do not underestimate the benefit and the importance of an optimistic mindset. That boost in positivity can help you overcome challenges. It's super important for helping you move toward more of what you want, make things happen, find solutions, connect well with others, right? All of this, having a little optimistic mindset boost, very, very helpful, very, very, very nice. Another thing to look for, number 2, intellectual expansion. Being able to think about things in a different way, but there's also something about this here that is about learning and teaching. You're researching right now, you're analyzing, you're thinking things over, you're organizing data. It's actually an active process of learning and or teaching, right? You might be the one doing that for someone else. And what it's doing is bringing in new ideas. It's about new ideas sort of taking root for you and or for someone else, and through that work, that intellectual expansion. Um, so optimism compared with new ideas and confidence, such a wonderful thing. Number 3, harmonious connections. This is actually an amazing time for building connections between individuals. And it's also a great time for strengthening sort of larger networks this weekend. Aquarius sort of rules both of those things. Aquarius is about the groups that we belong to, but not like our closest friendships or our relationships or our work people, but other groups that we participate in. And also social media, anything that we do online, technology, things like this. So this is a wonderful time for building those kinds of connections. And then I also think that there's something of an intellectual detachment with all of this air. I'm sorry, an emotional detachment with all of this air. It's a very intellectual, sort of cerebral time. And it's interesting how that can actually help to bring about more harmonious connections. You know, it can kind of ease relationships enough when all the emotion isn't there that you can connect in a different way with air, and sometimes a little bit easier. So, harmonious connections. Number 4, just be on the lookout for opportunities. Opportunities can come up during this time. We also have Uranus stationing direct right now. Uranus did turn direct yesterday, and is in relationship with the sun. So, or no, isn't in relationship with the sun. That's coming up later, but just the Uranus station here at 23 degrees, connecting with Venus, connecting with Mars yesterday. I did a video about that a couple of days ago. Just the station brings in sort of the intensity of Uranus a little bit more because it's so slow in the sky. So that's the sort of suddenness of it, the unexpected nature of the opportunities arising. It could be sort of unexpected chances for something new or for some kind of growth. It could come about quite suddenly. So, you know, be open and on the lookout for opportunities to arise this weekend. Number 5, goals and dreams. And I'm working in the idea of all this Pisces stuff here as well, and just the future nature of Aquarius and of everything that's happening right now with things changing signs. It's really a wonderful time to sort of dream really big and maybe begin to take steps toward that dream, right? Even if they are small, very, very beginning steps, even if they are just sort of intuitive. Um, I do think there's something about the Pisces Virgo nodes axis opening up that uh, people are moving and talking more about moving authentically than I've ever seen, and from a place of intuition than I've ever seen. We are getting smart. We are learning that our intellect is driven by things other than our soul. Our intellect is driven by our programming, it's driven by our conditioning, and it serves a very important purpose: being organized, having our list, getting done what we need to get done in the order that is the most efficient, or I don't know, just playing certain roles that we need to play. This all serves a purpose. But where possible, to sort of be able to move a bit more on intuition and instinct and listen to yourself. Um, Simple things from, uh, being able to uh, uh, put slippers on your feet when you walk into the cold kitchen, so that you're feeling a little bit more comfortable. You might have the instinct to do that, and rather than say, I'm going to skip it, you take that little second to do it, that little moment of self-care. Or taking a different route home from work. You don't really know why, but you just feel like going this way. I love that new Rick Rubin book where he was talking about how that's a creative decision to do something like that. You're being creative when you do that. So um, there's something about how collectively we're just moving into more time like that that I think is so interesting. Where we're all sort of embracing moving through intuition and instinct, perhaps a bit more. Okay, number 6, there's a collaborative spirit to this. There's something about working with others that sort of helps this energy to ping back and forth. I've talked before about how sometimes people can sort of personify the transits. So one person can play the role of the sun, being all about that identity and that life force and that energy. And then one person can play the role of Jupiter and be bringing that optimism and those opportunities for growth. And the energy can sort of like ping back and forth between the two of them. And it can enhance and expand the success and joy of both. So collaborating with others is really wonderful at this time, especially if they're bringing, a positive contribution intellectually, energetically to the collaboration. Number 7, curiosity. I think that when there's opportunity in a transit, it can be all too easy to focus on the potential of actual material manifestations. Like, oh, you could get a new opportunity, you could have a wonderful conversation. But it could also just be that this transit sparks your imagination or your thinking in some new area, and that ultimately opens up so much for you. But the curiosity in itself is really wonderful too. Just to embrace that feeling of being interested, being excited, loving to learn, embracing all this new information. That's very Sun, Trine Jupiter, and an air signs. Okay. And number 8, I just wrote joyful exploration, right? It's about exploring whatever it is you're doing this weekend joyfully. It could be that travel is involved or short trips are involved because of Jupiter here. There's something about the exploring that I wanted to mention. But it can also be just mental adventures, learning new things like I was just talking about, and that bringing fulfillment. So just to review, an optimistic mindset is possible at this time, extra possible. Intellectual expansion, harmonious connections with others, like minded others, opportunities can arise. It's a wonderful time to dream big and have new visions. A collaborative spirit is extra possible. Curiosity and joy are also a big part of this transit. So there are a bunch of other things going on in the sky as well, but I just wanted to focus on this today, although I did jump around and talk about some other things as well. And yeah, I think that that is the bulk of it. I will attach some other videos that are relevant at this time here. Good morning, Miss Tell. I love seeing you guys, and I hope everyone's doing well. How's everything going? I can't believe we're at the end of January already. Time seems to be moving quickly and slowly at the same time somehow. So, yeah, I've officially done this every day in January, and it's actually been really great. And I hope that you've enjoyed it too. And I'm going to continue to be here live every day. So, I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.